My biggest reaction walking out of Nicolas Cage playing Nicolas Cage in The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is that when you put Nick Cage plus Pedro Pascal in a film together, it's a must-see. Just for them. I promise you. Literally just for them. It's the reason to see this movie. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to a brand new non-spoiler movie review for The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. A cash-strapped Nicolas Cage agrees to make a paid appearance at a billionaire superfan's birthday party, but is really an informant for the CIA since the billionaire fan is a drug kingpin, and, well, that's where it kind of goes. This film is, of course, starring Nicolas Cage as Nick Cage, Pedro Pascal, Tiffany Haddish, Sharon Horgan, Neil Patrick Harris, and a wide variety of other actors. And for me, when I saw the trailer for this, I just thought it looked irresistibly fun. And I've always loved Nicolas Cage as an actor. I love what he's been doing lately with all these independent films, whether it's been Mandy or Pig, most notably last year, which was stunning. He was so amazing in that film, and honestly did not get enough credit where credit is due. I heavily recommend that you see Pig. I also do miss that when he did do studio blockbusters like this, or just in general studio films. And this is one of his first big studio films in quite a while. And honestly, it's like he's never missed. Nicolas Cage is one of the best actors that has ever lived. And that's just the truth. He's won a damn Oscar, he's been nominated, and there's plenty of other times where he should have been nominated. And for me, I just found this movie to be, again, be exactly what the trailer gave you. Irresistibly fun. It's not perfect, and there's a lot of issues in this movie, and usually one of my biggest things is when it comes down to a comedy. If you can make me laugh, I'm going to forgive a lot of those instances. And while I did laugh a lot, it feels like this is actually one of the comedies that, while when it's in its high prime, when it's the strongest it possibly is, it's excellent. But when it's not, it is a detriment to the film. We are going to talk about that, but again, I do think this is a must-see film just for Nicolas Cage and Pedro itself, and we'll talk about that. But let me know down below what your guys' thoughts on the movie is. What's your favorite Nicolas Cage movie as well? For me, personally, mine might be Raising Arizona, but I also love him in Kick-Ass. So there's a wide variety of different choices that I could have there. But I do want to hear your guys' thoughts once again, so leave those comments. What's your favorite Nick Cage film? As well as making sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you can always come here to keep talking movies. It's a safe place to talk movies here, and I'm happy to have you here. All right, with my pros, again, let's start with Nicolas Cage playing a very much more extreme version of himself. Many of us would actually think would be the version of Nick Cage that we would follow along because he's exaggerating against himself, and that's how he is in this film, very much going above and beyond. And it's not a true depiction of his entire life, his marriage life, his kids, all sorts of things like that, even down to the debt that he actually occurred. But there is some realism in there that I felt was heartfelt for Nick Cage to bring about, and even adding in there a lot more. I think one of the strongest aspects in here is his performance. There's an actual heart to the entire story itself, whether it is the friendship that he has with Javi, played by Pedro Pascal, or even the fake family that he does bring in here. There is a nice realm of it all, and I just think Nicolas Cage, again, never misses a beat. He always gives 110% to no matter what the role is, and he's always down to play these ludicrous, unique ideas that maybe at storefront might seem a little bit stupid. And while there are a lot of dumb humor in here, Nick Cage plays it up and amps it up. So if you enjoy Nick Cage, you're going to like that. Adding in there, especially if you've followed his career since he has started to now, there is a lot in here to love. And I say that with such a positivity because for me, I've watched countless amounts of Nicolas Cage movies with my dad, and there are so many lines, Easter eggs, and certain things to pick up, whether it's from the beginning of his career to the middle to even the latest. Like, there's even a joke about Mandy in here, and I was quite surprised by that. Cinephiles themselves will have a lot of fun with this movie in the way that it depicts and picks apart certain things in filmography today. In fact, there is an entire running joke about Paddington 2 that absolutely made me lose my mind, and I loved it because it was so hilarious and it fit to the actual story and really much what Paddington 2 is. And cinephiles are going to enjoy picking those pieces apart and really much enjoying the depiction that it has. In fact, I don't think we've gotten a film like this in the way of a comedy from a studio in quite a while, probably since Tropic Thunder, in the way that it kind of goes behind the scenes to the actors. Now, I think Tropic Thunder is vastly different than this one, but there's a lot of fun elements to have in here because of that. But I have mentioned Pedro Pascal earlier in here, and I need him in more comedies. Is he perfect in here? Abso-freaking-lutely. And I think him and Nick Cage work in harmony. Their chemistry is stunning, and I want another film with them. Whether it is another Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, or maybe you say just another film with Nick Cage and Pedro Pascal. In fact, as I was watching this, I would love to see them do an adaptation of the video game A Way Out and actually have Nick Cage and Pedro Pascal play those two different characters. I think it would work wonders. Again, enough cannot be said for how amazing Pedro is in this, and I need him in more comedies. He is one of my favorite actors working right now, and I loved him in this. I thought he was perfect. I actually think, again, it is really much them that hold this film from being a little bit of a low bar for the comedy realm. And for me, again, all of that elements that I just mentioned are the best aspects of this movie. But that's where it does hold this film back. I think this film is so much fun with them, and I wanted more of them, actually. I actually wish most of the film was about them. In fact, they even make an in-house reference joke of how, like, oh, well, you can't have a comedy of just two people talking. Yes, you can when it's you too. As for me, the element that is seen in the trailer very prevalently is the spy stuff. And I think the spy stuff could have been more fun. But I do think it gets in the way and kind of knocks the story down a bit to where I think there was a nice friendship going along there, and I would have liked to see them actually join that a bit more before introducing the spy element, because the spy element comes in very fast, and I never felt like we got enough time with Javi and Cage before it actually kind of went a little bit sour for a bit of it. And really much, again, I like Tiffany Haddish and I like Ike as well, but I think they were a little bit miscasted in here. It's not like they weren't making funny jokes, but it kind of just seemed like they were playing themselves, and I actually would have liked maybe someone else to play the CIA part. But in the end of the day, I look at that and I'm like, if you take out that entire part and rewrite the script just a hair, it would have worked even better. And without that, I don't think it would have really much pulled down the film at all. And then there was even the family element in here that at first I was like, I don't know if I love this. I kind of like it. I kind of don't. There's a couple issues in there that I probably would have tinkered up and just straightened up a bit. But again, at the end of the day, it was needed for the entire story, especially when you get to one of the big conclusion jokes. That's my thing. I think the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent works because of Nick Cage and Pedro Pascal. They make this a must-see movie. The inside references, the cinephile jokes, and all sorts of things that kind of go throughout Cage's career, there's a lot of humor to be found in there. But when it really harmoniously works is when it is Cage and Pascal. When they are together, this film is firing on all cylinders and really make this to be a 10 out of 10 amazing and entertaining time. I think the CIA stuff kind of drags the film down. I also do think some of the family elements, while not the best, I think you honestly probably could have even gotten rid of that, but it would have missed out on certain hearts and certain punchlines to other jokes. But again, I very much enjoyed this movie, and I think this is one of the more entertaining comedies, studio comedies in a while, that we have seen that aren't from new creative voices. And if they were to make a sequel, or in general just cast Nick Cage and Pedro in another film, I would be all in for that, because I think this movie is a ton of fun, especially because of them two, and that's why I'm going to give The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent a B-. The jokes in here are absolutely hilarious. Some of them, you know, they still smirk and grin at you, but overall, I think this is such a highly entertaining movie that many of you guys are going to love. So make sure to leave your comment, guys. What's your favorite Nick Cage movie? Again, hit that like and subscribe button. If you're interested in seeing movies early, as well as getting up to all the movie news, make sure to head on over to Samchon Films as well. But of course, until next time, everybody, stay classy.